Welcome back to the Road to National series. In today's episode, I'm going to take you through an upper max workout, and I'm going to be talking to you about programming later in the video, namely my program, because I have made quite a large update to it. But first of all, this is me building up to my upper max variation for the week, which is a cambered bar bench press. Now, my previous best was 130 kilos, and it was an absolute massive grind. Here, I'm going for 135, and I managed to hit it way easier than I'd hit 130 kilos all that time ago, so I was very happy with that, and I was having some unracking difficulties with the bar anyway, so very happy to hit a big PR that was significantly easier than my old one there. So moving on to the accessories, I started off with skull crushers here, then I moved on to wide mag grip lat pull downs, then chest press, then side laterals, then alternating bicep curls, and I was supposed to do an ab exercise at the end of this workout. However, I went out on the Saturday before this workout and I cannot handle my alcohol at all anymore. Since starting this series, I haven't really gone out or drank at all, and it showed. I felt sick all weekend and I just felt like I couldn't do any ab training, otherwise I would maybe have a disaster and spew everywhere. You can see me clutching my stomach when it gets around to the chest press in between sets. I really felt sick then, so I skipped my abs at the end of this session. Now, whilst those accessories are playing in the background, I'm going to talk to you about programming. Now, I train the conjugate system. That is where I max out and do dynamic effort each week alongside my accessories. If you want to know why I train the conjugate system, you can watch episode 1 of this series. I cover that and I take you through my original program. However, in this episode, I'm going to take you through how I've updated my program. I just feel that this new version is more optimal to me. So first thing to take you through is the new split. So this is the split. I'll flash it up and then I'll put things up and take them off screen as you want. So if you want to pause and read anything throughout this video, go for it. But first of all, this is the new split. As you'll be able to see, I only have one lower dynamic session now. So what I used to have was one upper dynamic session, 2 lower dynamic sessions, and then the max sessions. So I used to want to try and hit dynamic squats and dynamic deadlifts each week. However, I've been finding that massively fatiguing and mainly mentally fatiguing. Doing 3 lower workouts per week felt way too much. So now I've dropped it down to 1 dynamic effort session per week, and I'm going to either do squats for a 3-week wave or deadlifts, and I'll alternate them per 3-week dynamic waves. Then, as you can see in the split as well, there are the GPP sessions on Wednesday and Saturday. So these are the sessions that are now going to be programmed and added in. So I've been thinking about doing GPP sessions and specifically programming it for a while. Originally, I was just trying to do other sports on these days, getting involved in like squash. My friends play squash, or I've started doing snowboarding because I got bought it for next Christmas. We're going to go skiing or something, so I need to learn. But I'm actually starting to program my GPP sessions now, and you'll see that later on. So that's the next major change. As far as a primary effort guide goes, this is it for max effort variations. That is staying completely the same. And then this is the dynamic effort guide. So the next major change is I'm just doing 3 sets of dynamic effort, no matter what the rep range is. I originally was doing 5 sets of 5. I found that to be too much, and then I did 5, 4, 3 sets over the 3-week wave, remaining with 5 reps, and even that felt like too much. So now I've just switched to 3 sets of 5 per dynamic effort day, no matter what the weight is. I feel like that's going to be way more attainable, and I'm going to be more snappy. The whole point of dynamic effort training is that you're trying to work on your speed strength and make yourself recruit your muscle fibers faster, and that's going to carry over to your maxes and your powerlifting. But when I'm doing 5x5s, I just find it way too much volume to have that snap and pop, particularly in the later sets, and it's hugely mentally fatiguing. I was just dreading my lower dynamic sessions in particular. Like, it takes ages to set up with all the band tension and everything. Wasn't enjoying that aspect of training, so I think that this fix is going to help me stay way more consistent and motivated with it as well. Then moving on to accessories. So the accessory guide has changed a bit, obviously, because my split has changed. I now have more accessories per day, and I have the option to do 3 sets per exercise, but I'm basically always going to do 2. So as you'll see in this video as well, I'm doing 2 sets of each exercise. I'm not going and doing a third one, and the reason is I've found that to be so much better from a fatigue standpoint. I found that doing 3 sets on every exercise was way too much volume. I find it way more easy in my training in terms of like mentally, I'm enjoying the sessions way more. And I find that hitting extra variations within the accessories, because I'm only doing 2 sets, I'm now, as I said, doing more accessories per session, 6 on upper days and only 5 on lower days. It means that I'm able to hit more areas per session. And then the other thing is I just find it so nice to train to failure when you only have 2 sets. Like you can basically go all out on the first set and then just try and match it on the second set. So as it shows here, my accessory guide has been updated. You can have a look through there. And then these are the accessory variations. This is just to clarify what things like a leg push are, or a hip hinge where you don't know what they are. You can see the groupings up on screen now. So the next aspect of the training plan to cover is the GPP sessions. So these are the GPP sessions. I've actually got them programmed out now. They're starting off with 2 plyometrics. So I'll do some sort of small pogo pop style plyometric warm-up, little hops basically. And then I have sagittal plyos on the first day, which is front and back plyos, like either jumping forwards or backwards. I have lateral plyos to start the other day, which is side to side plyos. And then I've got vertical plyos, which are like box jumps or depth jumps, up and down plyometrics. Then I've got implement carries, so that could be like sandbag carries or heavy rocks. I've got a rock in my garden, which is the main thing I'm planning on doing this with. Or a farmers and yoke in the other session. Now, I don't have access to a farmers and yoke at the moment, so I'm going to need to sort that out. And I also don't have access to a sled, so I'm going to do a load of sled drags after that. This is the new programming, and the plan is to do this in order to help just build up the work capacity and general physical preparedness of my muscles. And then I'm doing some sort of grip work at the end. I did grip isometrics on my deload week about 3 weeks ago, and it was amazing. I felt such DOMs, but felt that it was really beneficial with the axle bar, so I'm going to start doing that more as well. Then just quickly, this is my Circumax guide. So this is me getting ready for a comp. You can read that quickly. I have done a different episode talking about Circumaxes and peaking and tapering for a comp. You'll be able to find that. I can't remember what episode number that is, but this is basically the Circumax guide. So what this also means for the channel is that I'm going to be releasing 6 videos each week instead of 5. I will be showing my GPP sessions now that I have properly programmed them out. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I don't have a sled yet, so it might not be perfect for this week or even next week. But yeah, I will be showing those on the channel as well. That's a very underutilized area of training, particularly for powerlifting. I've done a separate video on GPP itself as well, but I highly recommend that is probably an area you're neglecting if you're watching this series and you do like powerlifting. Work on your GPP, maybe copy the style of session that I'm gonna do. So coming back to today's workout, after these bicep curls, I took a quick moment to think whether I should do the ab workout, but I was still feeling sick, so I decided it's probably best not to. So that is it for today's video. I hope you did in fact enjoy the video. If you did, drop it a like, drop it a comment, subscribe, click the bell, all of that good stuff. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.